You know, there's not that much information out there about the staking tool set. Not like the lathe where you could find all kind of information. The staking tool set hardly has any notice at all. Yeah, the staking tool set's really versatile. I bet it's used a lot more than any of the other tools. With the right combination of stumps and punches, you could probably do about anything in watch repair. You could tighten a cannon pinion like I'm doing here. And after you've tightened your cannon pinion, you can use your staking tool set to install a cannon pinion. Just push it down on top of the center wheel. So one thing the staking tool set's probably used for more than anything is the balance work, such as removing roller tables and installing new balance staffs. Now here's another job the staking tool set can be used for, and that's the closing up of pivot holes that have been worn and the hole's too big, so you want to close it up a little bit. Now the reason I'm showing all these different jobs is each one of these jobs requires a special punch. And I'm going to go through and do an overview of the punches that are in my set. My set has 120 punches that came with it. It's really important that you choose the correct punch to do the job that you'll be working on, because you take the chance of 1, damaging the punch, and 2, damaging the part that you're working on. Now if you go to my channel homepage, you'll see a playlist of all the videos I've made on staking tools and watch repairs. Yeah, all the videos are organized and put in a playlist, and it makes it really easy so you can find what you're looking for. Well, like I said before, my staking tool set has 120 punches. And each one of the punches has a letter of the alphabet and a number stamped on them. One reason for this was it made it easier when you went to order replacement punches back in the day when you couldn't order punches. And it still helps out today knowing those numbers if you are looking for a replacement punch on eBay or somewhere. Sometimes the seller will list the number of the punch. That'll help you out. Now my staking tool set was made by C&E Marshall Company. Now they advertise this numbering system as an exclusive feature only found in their staking tool sets. For example, if you were using punch number B2, which is a round face punch, to spread the rivet on a balance staff, the companion punch to flatten the rivet would be A2. That punch, the A2, would be found on the opposite side of the case, located in about the same position you found your B3 punch on the other side. Yeah, this numbering system really helps with eliminating the time you spend searching around looking for a companion punch on the job you're working on. Now if you have like a K&D staking tool set, they don't use this numbering system. Their numbering system is like if you're using punch number 54, and to find a companion punch you subtract 30 from that number, and that would give you punch number 24, and that will be your companion punch. I think the Marshall numbering system is a lot easier to follow. Another thing to remember is always use a brass hammer when you're pounding on your punches, so you don't take the chance of damaging the ends of them. So another tool that could have come with your staking tool set is this punch lifter or extractor. It's used to help remove the punches from the holes in the staking tool box. Without it, you'd have to remove the punches with your fingers. It's really hard to grasp those little punches with your fingers. There's also the danger of getting sweat on them from your fingers and causing them to rust. Well, let's look at our punches. This is called a flat-faced hollow punch, and it's numbered A2 through A34. It's used for the final staking of balance staffs, for pressing on hairspring collets on balance wheels. It also makes a great stump when it's inverted in the staking tool set. There's 33 of these flat-face punches in the set. Now this punch is the flat-face solid punch, and it's numbered C1 through C9. There's 9 of these punches. They could be used for closing holes, for adjusting end shake, and they also make great stumps too when they're inverted in the staking tool set. Now this punch here is called a tapered mouth closing punch, and it's numbered E1 through E9, and there's 9 of these punches. This punch is really good for closing the sockets on an hour hand if your hour hand's too big and it's too loose on your watch. I made a video on how to use this punch to close the socket on an hour hand. So yeah, subscribe to my channel and you can go to my home page and see all the different playlists that I've made for pocket watch repair and other things related to pocket watches. Now this punch here is called a roller staking punch, and it's marked G1 through G4, and there's 4 of them. It's used to drive a roller table onto the balance staff. Now, I made a detailed video on how to use this punch too. If you like these videos, go ahead and hit that like button. Now this punch is marked I1 through I4, there's 4 of them, and they're called a screw knocking punch. Yeah, this punch is used for driving out screws that have been broken off in the plates, and also for driving out friction banking pins. So now we're done with those punches. Let's move over to the punches on the other side of our staking tool set. Now this punch is called a centering punch. It doesn't have a number on it, but it's only used for one purpose. That purpose is to center up the hole that's in the die plate with the staking tool frame, so that when you're using your punches with your stumps, they'll be in perfect alignment. So you don't want to use this punch for anything other than what it was intended for, or you could damage it. Now these punches are called a round-faced hole punch. They're marked B2 through B34, and there's 33 of them. Yeah, this type of punch is used to spread the rivet out on a balance staff. I made a video on how to use that punch and to rivet a balance staff. Now this punch is called a round face solid punch, and it's marked D1 through D9, and there's 9 of these punches. Now this is a real handy punch. It's used for closing pivot holes, for closing minute hand holes, and also for closing holes in roller tables if your roller table is too loose on your staff. Now this punch is called a double roller punch, and it's marked F1 through F4, and there's 4 of them. And it's used for staking on double rollers on the balance, just like the name says. Now this punch is called a collet closing punch. There's one marked H1 and one marked H2. These punches are used to close the collet on a hairspring if your hairspring collet is too loose on a balance staff. They look sort of like the taper mouth punch, but the hole is different. It's deeper on these 2 punches. Now this punch is called a cross hole punch, and it's marked J1 through J6, and there's 6 of these. And they're used for driving in and out staffs from rollers, and also for driving in and out friction staffs, especially the Waltham friction staff. Now this punch is marked K1 through K3. There's 3 of them. Now it's a special punch, and it's used to punch in a Waltham friction balance staff. I made a video on how to replace the Waltham friction balance staff. If you'd like to see that, check it out. Now this punch is called a stretching or a peening punch. It's marked M6 and it's used for stretching balance arms or for stretching metal. Now here's another punch that's a stretching punch or a peening punch for metal, and it's marked M1. Now this punch is called a four-sided pointed punch. It's marked M2. This punch is used to tighten up a roller table if it's too loose on the balance staff. I made a video on how to use this punch too. Now this punch is called a prick punch. It's marked M3 and it's used to make a center mark in case you need to drill a hole in a plate. It has a special hardened tip on the end of the punch, so when you hit the punch on the plate, it leaves an indentation in the metal. Now, like I mentioned before, you can also use your punches as stumps. You just take your centering punch, center up your die plate, choose the punch you're going to use as a stump, and invert it into your staking tool frame. Then choose the punch that you're going to be using for the job you're working on. Another helpful tip is to take a piece of pegwood and clean out the holes that are in the punches to get any dirt or grease that could be lodged in there. Well, we've gone through all the punches and the numbering order in which they're numbered. And like I said, mine is a Marshall set, but if you have a K&D set, the punches are used the same way. Just the numbering system is different. So if you follow the numbering order and get your staking set all organized, it'll make your staking job a lot easier.